When I was thinking about opportunities after UCLA Anderson, I was looking at companies that offered a general management leadership development program. And that is really what stood out to me about Experian. They had an opportunity, 2-year rotational program, where I would have exposure to high impact projects, visibility with senior leaders, and the ability to work on different projects.
What's unique about the program here at Experian is it allows individuals to come in and experience the full breadth of the company over the term of the program and then find a landing role in an organization that they're interested in.
Experian is the world's leading information services company. We have over 17,000 employees operating in over 40 countries, and we unlock the power of data for our clients and for the consumers.
Participants will get really good tangible exposure to real-world problems and solutions that we bring to the market.
I wanted something more, and so I went back and got my MBA at Arizona State University, and then I saw Experian on campus, and when I heard their passion and their vision of using data for good, it just struck me at this core of what I identified with and what I was looking for, not just in a company, but in how I could run my life and having a bigger impact on society.
One of the things that we're doing is constantly seeking diverse talent and all aspects of diversity, from the campuses we visit, from the different organizations people join, from how we challenge ourselves to learn, to grow, to try and be better. We need individuals to come to us that have diverse backgrounds and come from diverse walks of life to help ensure that our
When I started Experian, I started in a remote setting, and immediately I found that Experian really cares about the well-being of the employees.
Now we're focusing on how do we still cultivate that personal touch, that personal experience. When you can't be in person with your team, how do you still create that closeness and that team dynamic?
The participants in the program get to work with an internal mentor, and they also have an external coach who helps them navigate as they move from rotation to rotation.
Oftentimes when I'm mentoring or coaching participants, I'll say, you want to either build something new or fix something that's broken. And so a lot of the things that we put our participants on are just that, are to look at ways to advance something of significance or to fix something that isn't working quite well.
How many other places can you have an opportunity just entering the organization, just starting your career, to make a direct impact on a go-to-market product? You can do that at Experian. We need you to be a part of our journey.
But Duncan, I'll pass it to you for intros. And welcome, everyone.
Yeah, let's start by all introducing ourselves for today's participants. If we can just jump to the Experian team slide. We've got Jackie here. Do you want to do a quick introduction on yourself, please, Jackie?
Yes. And I'll just give it a second. But anyway, hi, I am Jacqueline. I joined Experian in 2022 in the MBA LDP program. I graduated from Chicago Booth MBA. I currently reside in Chicago. And since landing, it's what we called, or since graduating from the program, I am a senior product manager in the fraud business unit. Rand, we can't see the slides. I can see myself, which is a little weird.
Okay, apologies. I had to take myself off mute. Okay, I'm bringing back up the slide. Here we go.
Thank you. Yes, we see it. And I'll pass it on to Mike, who was in my class and my fellow friend.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mike Bradford Calhoun. I am a 2024 graduate of the Leadership Development Program here at Experian. I received my master's in business from the Gray School of Business at Morgan State University, a historically Black college. Since graduating from the program, I currently serve as a senior product strategy manager in our housing division, working primarily on direct-to-consumer products. So with that, I will pass it down to Elena.
Hello, I am Elena Miller. And I see that some of you went to Kellogg. I am a Kellogg alum. So welcome to the call, but I don't. I like all universities, I'll say that. I'm the leadership coach for this program. I do live outside of Chicago, just like Jacqueline does. I love this program. It's part of my heart and soul here at Experian, and I've loved partnering with it. So I'm super excited to be here. I will stick around. You won't hear from me during today's presentation, but I'm happy to stay for the Q&A. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A for me, the coach, or anything else I can help with. And Madison is going to be your talent acquisition contact. She's not able to hop on the call today, but as you go through the process, if you are going to apply for our positions, you will definitely hear back from Madison. And Ryan, I'll pass it to you.
Thanks, Elena. Hi, everyone. I am Rayanne Steele, and I am a HR business partner for all the corporate functions at Experian, and then I'm also the leadership development program manager. So it's a pleasure to speak with everyone today. I'm going to hand it back to Duncan Dixon.
Thank you, Ryan. So Duncan Dixon, I use the pronouns he, him. I've been with Experian 17 years now, and you may be able to tell from my accent, I'm not originally from America. I'm actually from New Zealand. I don't have an MBA, but I am very, very supportive of this program, and I'm a very active mentor on this. And so I think just moving to the next slide, I wanted to share a little bit more around Experian's purpose, because some folks may know of Experian as sort of a credit bureau, but we have far, far more than that. So it's all about the data and the power of the data, analytics and technology we use to transform lives and deliver better outcomes for people. So we have a huge focus and mission around improving financial health for all. We champion consumers across the business and currently have over 134 million free members across the globe to really help consumers sort of manage their financial health. And we're entrusted with a lot of data. We've got data on over 1.4 billion people globally and 191 million businesses, to just give you an idea of our global scale and breadth. And then we grow our business through innovation, technology, and it's all about fostering an inclusive, inspiring, and supportive culture for our people. And I often get asked, why have you been at Experian for 17 years? It's our purpose and the people that are a big part of that. So moving to the next slide, I'll share a little bit on just a bit of a snapshot of Experian, just to give a little bit more detail on what we mean by our sort of global breadth. So we're in over 30 countries and have more than 20,000 employees. And close to half of our employees are women. And our foundation for driving success is world-class technology, attracting the best talent, and then being very consumer-focused. And so we are a very people-centric company. We're voted Great Place to Work in 27 countries. So, I mean, that just shows the level of sort of care we have for our employees and the way that sort of employees sort of view and perceive Experian back. And then one of my favorite sort of fun facts about Experian is we have 9 ERGs, or employee resource groups, that helps us build community and helps our employees grow and develop. And at Experian, it's all about bringing your whole self to work. And we really, truly believe in that. So with that, I'll call on Jackie to share a bit more about how we innovate at Experian.
Thank you, Duncan. So at Experian, we are leveraging cloud technology, large language models, and Gen AI to create best-in-class solutions. Experian portfolio consists of both B2B and B2C businesses. The B2B is our largest. I think it's about 60% of our portfolio. As Duncan mentioned, we are very diversified. I would say we're the most diversified out of the 3 largest bureaus. We have marketing services, we have auto, we have health, we have a ton of, we have fraud, which is where I am. And in our B2C, it's the consumer services. It's what you see in the app, is where we touch consumers and make huge changes and impact into their day-to-day life. We're putting people in control of their financial situation and helping them improve their financial position. So you will see an example of our cloud technology platform here on the bottom, and the size of the total addressable markets of the business industries that we play. I want to give you a very specific example of a product that is near and dear to my heart. It's the one that we are currently working on, the Ascend Fraud Sandbox. And this example is that it will receive this year the Platinum Award for Identity Verification Innovation from Juniper Research in the 2024 Future Digital Awards. So we're very proud about that. Okay. So at life's key moments, like buying your first car or your first home or sending a child to college, to growing your business, we can see the kinds of transactions that we help business facilitates every day to their consumers, or that Experian provides directly to consumers for helping people take control of their financial lives or data. So I remember very, very clearly on Vision Conference, which is a very client-facing conference that I participated this year. And one of the feedbacks that I got from a client was that we were the thoughtful bureau. And I will take that any day. We really care about the things that we do. So Rayanne, if we can go to the next slide. And I will pass it on to Mike. I think you will need to hit twice. We see kind of a transition of slides for some reason. There you go.
Yeah.
Do you see it now?
Yep, we are clear. We're clear to go. So I'm going to talk specifically about the current program and its current structure. So this program has been around for the better part of 2 decades, and it is a well-established program here at Experian, and some great individuals that have gone on to take leadership roles within this company as high as business unit presidents have come out of this program. To give you an overview of what you will get out of the program, it's a 21-month structured program. Rotations on this side of the business can typically last from 3 to 5 months, typically, and sometimes you'll have 2 rotations at a time. And the rotations are structured in a bit of a combination, both from what the business need is and what also you are looking to gain from the exposure. We recognize that not everyone is completely sure about what they want to do here at Experian. And a lot of people still don't even know what Experian does on a day-to-day basis. But there are so many times where this program allows you to be in the driver's seat to manage that experience and learn about different parts of our business that impact consumers every day. And so you will find that there's a lot of connective tissue around the organizations, and all of the projects add some level of value. It's sort of like being someone in a candy shop. And one of a business unit president that came out of this program gave me some great feedback, because on my very first project in the program, I thought that I wanted to stay on that project. And she gave me some very sound advice that I took, and it ended up leading to where I ended up landing out of the program. She told me, this is one of the few times in your career where you get to experiment, and your job is to experiment and gain exposure in a lot of different areas of a company. And so in so many ways, you get that opportunity and you get that development. We get that development from specific mentors that are assigned to us. Duncan has been a mentor. I have several mentors that I've gained not only through the actual program, but also alumni of the program and various leaders across the business, which I've just connected with naturally. The big part of this organization and this LDP opportunity is a lot about networking. And you have a great and strong support system. Elena Miller, Rayanne Steele, and several others who are involved, and even the board that oversees the program they are here to support you, not only when you start the program, but all the way, even now, they're still supporting alumni in several different ways, because your career doesn't stop just as soon as you come out of the program. And so it's a large program. You have that executive coach. Each assignment has both a rotation manager and a rotation sponsor. So the rotation sponsor is typically the person that teaches you the business, and the rotation manager is the person that shows you the day-to-day way of working for a particular team. And that can be a team that is focused on strategy, that is focused on finance, that is focused on operations. You will run the gambit of teams here and the different projects that you serve. And currently in our program on this side of the house, we offer both strategy and finance rotations. We can go to the next slide around. Still in a bit of a transition from this slide, but I want to make sure we get through this pretty quickly here. So just thinking of the value, it's a bit of an endless knot of what you receive as you give. The thing about the LDP is you get out of it what you put into it. From a visibility standpoint, this is one of the few times in your career you will get to meet with senior level leaders from a global perspective. During my time in the program, I got an opportunity to, in my first rotation, actually present to the CEO of the North America. And similar to Jacqueline, I actually got an opportunity to go to the Vision Conference, which is an opportunity that's a side project for LDPers. I got to meet our global CEO and a lot of different leaders from across the business, and actually from other business and other partners. So there's a high level of visibility for your skills that amplify and show like, hey, you're ready to be a leader. Then there's also the exposure that you get to all of those different business units. There are over, I'd say, 7 different business units and different functions, and you get to learn about different industries, our competitors, different markets. When Jacqueline mentioned earlier that Experian is a part of every single major moment in life, whether that's buying a car, whether that's buying a home where I work, or whether that's having a child, or even moving or downsizing, the credit bureaus are involved in some way, shape, or form, even getting your first credit card. And so you get exposure to all those different things, and we provide a lot of resources for a lot of different industries. And then we think about what connects both visibility and exposure, and that's the relationships. You will find that not only is this a company where you get exposure to a lot of different leaders, but you also will find that you build camaraderie with a lot of different leaders, and everyone is willing to help you out in some way, shape, or form. During the program, I kind of gained a moniker of being the networker in chief a bit, just because I enjoyed getting to know the people that I was working with and getting that exposure and getting to learn them. And that is so important here at Experian. Is as much as we deliver good work, we also build and get things done through the relationships and the people that we know. That is how you build camaraderie. And one thing that you'll learn about Experian, if you're selected for this program, is that it's about our ways of doing the work. It's not just about being heads down, but it's also about that connective tissue and how are you bringing value to everyone else around you. With that, I'll pass it over to Rayanne to talk more about the leadership team.
Thanks, Mike, and apologies again, everyone, for a bit of the slow slide transition. Hopefully this one is populated here. Just wanted to highlight that our leaders, as Mike talked about, we have several senior leaders highly engaged in this program, whether they're mentors, whether they're part of our leadership development program steering committee or board, or they're a sponsor rotation. We have a lot of vested interest and support in the program. And our leaders come from diverse backgrounds and universities, as highlighted on this slide. So really just wanted to highlight kind of the extensive support of the leadership team and where they're alumni from. I'm going to hand it back to Jacqueline to share a little bit of life at Experian beyond just the LDP program itself and what you can expect.
Yeah, so the program will keep you busy for sure, but there is so much more going on outside of just your rotation. We are fully remote, and some people think that's scary or that's isolating, but I honestly believe it's a competitive advantage. You get a ton of flexibility, you get a work-life balance to dream for, and if you're missing out on connections, we are here for you. So we have, I changed my background on purpose, and I know it's kind of mirrored, but it's Young Professionals ERG. It's an ERG, an employee resource group that I helped launch on the past year, and I'm very, very proud of it. We are geared towards young professionals, as the name says. Our focus is to build connections to help foster the learning experiences and making friends and having fun at work, even if you are alone in a room. And outside of young professionals ERG, we have a ton of other ERGs. I think Mike is co-chair of the Black Professionals at Experian, and I'll let him jump in just a bit to tell you more. I think Duncan is also a sponsor for the Pride ERG, and we are very, very proud of that. We have in-person experiences in most of our US offices, which are Costa Mesa, Schaumburg, Illinois, Texas. We have a ton of offices spread around, and where there are hubs of enough people, we'll meet too, and we'll sponsor that. We have conferences like vision and sales conferences where people get together in the company and meet clients and network. And a network of mentors and alumni at Experian. But I will say you can lean in as much as you want to meet people and network and learn, even if you are remote. So you get as much as you put in, and there are a myriad of resources here for you. And I'll pass it on to Mike, because I know I forgot at least half of what I wanted to say, and Mike will remember everything.
Jacqueline, you're absolutely fine. So I'll tell a very interesting story about Jacqueline and myself. So we came in the same year, of course, as we mentioned, in 2022, and graduated from the program this year. But one thing that we are two individuals that we like to be innovative. And so when we started engaging with the ERGs, both of us came up with this idea that, hey, there's something missing from these programs. And so we came up with a role that we both took on in two ERGs. Myself, I'm the chief of staff for the Black Professionals ERG here at Experian, and Jacqueline was formerly the chief of staff for women in Experian. And now another cohort member of ours who graduated with us now serves in the role of chief of staff. So we came up with this role to say that, hey, there's an opportunity to really focus on how we spread the good news concerning ERGs, particularly for areas that we are concerned about when it comes to diversity here at Experian. But even beyond that, in the program, it allowed us to generate different ways of just making the world and making Experian a better place. And so that the constant, even with that, that's also an area where I gain mentors, and being able to see people that look like me in higher positions of influence within the company across the organization. And there's so much that this program offers. It really makes us uniquely Experian. I've had the opportunity, I am on the East Coast of Virginia, as Jacqueline mentioned, flexibility. I typically do work probably till 6 or so in the afternoon. But I have a lot of my team is on the West Coast. So being able to flex and be able to say like, hey, can we meet at this time that works for both of us? And people are very respectful of your time. People will make sure like, hey, they'll message you if they need to move a meeting. If you are dealing with something, people are ready to step in and say like, hey, don't worry about it. Do what you need to do, and we'll back you up. People are always going to back you up here and support you while you're an employee, while you're vesting your future here at Experian. And so there's so many opportunities to do that. The opportunities I've gotten to go to Costa Mesa, and our current two cohorts are actually going to be in Costa Mesa next week to meet a lot of, some of them are meeting for the very first time in person. They're getting to meet a lot of the leadership, and I don't mean just director level, I'm talking business unit president level, and even national level leadership in the Costa Mesa office in Orange County, California. There are so many opportunities to fill your cup, not just what you do on a day-to-day basis, and even the connectivity of the rotations. My first rotation, a relationship from that led to my second rotation. A relationship from that led to my fourth rotation, and the relationships I built in my fourth rotation landed me in the role that I'm in today. So let me tell you, it is a journey where you are supported, where you have people that are looking to get the best out of you and bring the best out of you and support you in any way that they can. Now I'll pass it back over to.
I forgot. I knew I had forgotten something.
You're fine. You're fine.
Education ambassador is something that I want to highlight. Mike, you are the one to talk about it, but I'll say it's such a unique opportunity to showcase what Experian does. Do you want to talk about your experiences as an educational?
Yeah. So here at Experian, one of the things that we get to do, it is not lost on us. Even here at Experian, everybody does not know everything about credit here at Experian. And so as a result of that, even from the perspective that some people think we work at Expedia, the travel group. And so a lot of times when we're around family, when we're with our peers, they may ask us, "Oh, you work for Experian. Hey, can you tell me what's wrong with my score?" And as an individual that doesn't necessarily work directly with consumer profiles, I can't really tell you what to do. But I know there are some key things that we can teach the general populace about credit to help them build that. For me in particular, being from the African American community, a lot of times there are a lot of financial fears and a lot of financial mistrust when it comes to institutions. And things like our credit ambassador program allow for us to not only gain knowledge that when we're sitting around the Thanksgiving table during the holiday season, we can help people understand what it means to build their credit up and how to prevent mistakes from happening in their life, but it also provides us an opportunity, if we so choose to present about what it takes to build good credit. I've had the opportunity to visit my undergraduate alma mater, North Carolina A&T State University, another historically Black college, where I got to give back to the band program there where I march and get to present to over 200 students and teach them about what it means to have good credit. And so that opportunities like that are what really drive and fill my cup, because it's like, hey, I'm giving back because I didn't know anything about credit in college, and being able to share that and put people in a better position for their future from a financial perspective, from a perspective of, hey, when they get out of college, they'll know what they need to do even with their student loans. It's very, very helpful and very, very beneficial. So yeah, thanks, Jacqueline. I completely forgot about that. So good. Yeah.
Jacqueline, would you like me to go ahead and share the young professionals video?
Yes, I think we can see the tee up.
Why doesn't Jacqueline, can you try to open it? And I'll go to a question, because y'all are asking some really great questions. One question is, can you give us a specific example of a project rotation within the strategy pathway and how you were able to individually create an impact in a project you served? Can you think of one, Mike?
Yeah. So while Jacqueline's pulling up the young professionals video, I can think of my second project was analyzing 10 different market opportunities that one of our business units was exploring to see, like, hey, what is, number one, what is feasible for us to solve with the products that we have in our roadmap long term, but then also see where would Experian receive the most benefit from serving that different market. And so as a result of that, I was able to build out a project for one particular business unit that addresses issues that they have. Hey, they need additional resources to really go after that part of the business. And as a result of that project, that's what ended up turning into my fourth project. And that in regards to that, on my fourth project, I really outlined, like, hey, here's how big of a market opportunity this really is, because sometimes being at a big company, sometimes people may get pigeonholed or may not see the opportunities on markets that are not normally what you would consider credit. And so with that opportunity, not only was I able to share, like, hey, here are all the opportunities and here's where we fit, and here are the changes that are happening that really benefit consumers, that also ended up leading to my role being created in that team. And so those were the tangible benefits that I saw from that individual project. Jacqueline, let us know when you're ready, and in the meantime, we can hop to another question.
Let's try it. You can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I joined the Young Professionals ERG because I want to pay it forward. Help from mentors and peers is how I've found success, and I want to be able to help others find their success and happiness here at Experian.
I joined the Young Professional ERG to invest in Experian's future leaders, but also to merge the gap in creating a more laid back and personable environment.
I joined the Young Professional ERG because I want to help others and have impacts on their careers the same way those who came before me had impacts on mine.
I joined the Young Professionals ERG because I like the idea of bringing like-minded professionals together. This ERG is going to pave a pathway for young professionals within. It's not about how old you are or if you have tenure here at Experian. Our mission here is to empower young professionals by fostering an inclusive community.
I joined the Young Professionals ERG because everyone deserves a safe space to grow both personally and professionally.
I joined the Young Professionals ERG because work can be fun, and when work's fun, we get more done together.
I joined the Young Professional ERG because I wanted to help build connections between employees that may be remote and across the entire United States.
I joined the Young Professionals ERG at Experian because I think it's a great way to stay connected in a virtual world.
I joined the Young Professionals ERG because I think it will have a massive impact on our culture here at Experian.
I joined the Young Professionals ERG because I believe in investing in the younger generations. I think this is where we're going to be able to truly impact Experian's future as well as our overarching culture.
Experian is my first job after a 3-year gap to have kids, a 2-year break to go back to business school, and moving to the United States. So whether you are international, just graduating, or Experian is a new company you're working for, I hope this ERG helps you connect and learn from each other as much as I will.
Hi, I'm Janet Clardy, SVP of Human Resources, and I'm the executive sponsor of the Young Professionals ERG. The mission of our ERG is to empower young professionals at Experian by fostering an inclusive community. We champion unique perspectives, bridge generational gaps, and make a difference in our communities. I wanted to be a part of this ERG because I remember early in my career how important it was to have mentoring and a development path and support. And here at Experian, we have many ways for people to grow and develop here, and I wanted to be an active part of helping our young professionals find their career best here at Experian and grow into an amazing leader and have a great journey.
Hey guys, Rakesh Patel here. I'm the General Manager of the Direct-to-Consumer Marketplace business and also an executive sponsor for the Young Professionals ERG. So I really wanted to be part of this ERG purely because we've got so much good talent in this business. I love to see people grow, develop, and do things that aren't traditional, and I believe I can help contribute to every single person's development with this business. So this ERG is really designed for us to network, share insights, and also just to grow, both professionally and also personally. I really love for everyone to join this ERG. It's going to be super fun, it's going to be super exciting, and who's your data?
Okay, hopefully that worked. How do I get to the next slide?
Jacqueline, you can get the next slide up. I'm going to continue to answer some questions because also just piggybacking off of what Mike had said. So this particular place that we're recruiting from for you all this year is that we're looking for a finance track and a strategy track. And someone asked a question about strategy. The idea is that you will have rotations within our corporate strategy groups as well as within our BU strategy teams. So you really get that broad view of Experian as a whole, but you're able to see how the individual business units work from a strategic perspective. And then the idea is upon landing, when you graduate from the program, is that you would find a strategy role, and we would obviously partner with you to find that within a strategy team, whether that's corporate strategy or a particular business unit. It'll be dependent on what you really find is your niche and where you want to focus, as well as what the business needs are 2 years' time after you start the program. So I just wanted to add that on to Mike's answer. And I'll go ahead, I can take this slide. In terms of what we seek beyond the degree, I think you've probably heard a lot here today about Experian. Yes, it's our jobs, it's our roles, but our culture is super important to us. And some of the soft skills that we all have, there are wonderful people that work here within Experian. So we want to keep that going. So beyond the degree, and this was a question in the Q&A as well, definitely curiosity. In a rotation program in particular, you are going every 3 to 5 months, as Mike mentioned, to different rotations. It does take a curious mind to really ask those good questions, meet with people. You have to kind of dig deep and fast. And so having that curiosity is key. The growth potential, we want to see that you have potential to grow. and grow beyond just the LDP. We're looking for those that can be leaders within our company now and beyond. So someone that can really own that leadership persona and take it with them. A team player. As you can see, we've had technical difficulties on this call. We are pulling together as a team. That is just how we operate at Experian. If you're looking to be a solo player, we probably won't be a great fit for you because we all pull together. It's a team mentality, collaboration, and cross collaboration across functions and BUs is an extremely valuable tool here at Experian. Adaptability, I'll jump there because as you could see us demonstrate adaptability, but especially in the rotation program, you have to learn so fast and you have to adapt to change. You gotta have that in you. You gotta thrive on it. Ambiguity is another one I'll add to that. You're probably, may not get a lot of direction at first. You kind of have to figure it out and navigate. So if you're that type of person that likes to dig in and just figure things out and bob and weave with the changes, this is a perfect place for you. That goes with being self-driven. Just taking that initiative, taking ownership, going and networking, going and meeting with people, asking for their time. It helps you in the program. So definitely kind of have that bone in your body. And last but not least, a professional skill set. So as you heard in this program, you will be interacting with very high level leaders. And you're going to be put on very high impact, high visibility projects. So you do have to have a certain level of professional skill set that you're coming to the table with. You can really leverage in combination with your MBA to succeed here in the program. And then we have a nice quote from our one and only Mike, who's on the call. As part of the LDP, you gain unique access and a higher perspective from business impacts to helping the average consumer. This is your chance to be an explorer, accelerating your development by pushing you to think outside the box, challenge the status quo, and reveal insights to leaders they didn't know. So I love that. And then the next slide, I know we had a couple questions come in through the Q&A about the application process. So we've already started posting the positions and doing our own outreach. Obviously, you are all here today in early October. I anticipate perhaps some of you have submitted applications. Maybe after this call, you will submit an application. Please do so because we will start reviewing those and getting back to people within October and scheduling interviews for the end of this month. So that's kind of our cadence. We hope to have interviews completed by November, have offers extended and positions filled by December. So that is our timeline. I believe it does align to most of the universities, how they do it as well. But Madison, that we showed on that second slide of our team, she is our talent acquisition person who helps with this process. So she would be reaching out to you. And with that said, we can pop to Q&A. So I know a lot of you have already submitted questions in the Q&A. I answered this one just now. When will I hear back after submitting application? Very, very soon, within October. Is this informational a prerequisite to application? No, it is not. So this is more to just help you understand a bit about the program and ask your questions and that we can answer for you today. I'll give one to, and there's some questions from Mike and Jacqueline. As an MBA grad that most likely had many avenues and opportunities to pursue, they want to know what made you choose LDP program at Experian and what was the differentiator factor for you?
I can answer that. And then Mike, you add in your point of view. For me, I was in transition with my MBA. My goal was to move from finance. So I used to work in finance in FP&A and pricing role, and I wanted to go into product management. So for me, the LDP was a great way for me to experiment and test and learn, and also find where I belong in terms of culture, the team vibes, the business units, maturity level, all of that. And of course, that that changes, but having that exposure and seeing what works for you and having that almost certainty when you choose your full-time role after the program was something that I found was very valuable.
I'll jump in to say some of the differentiating factors were, like a lot of you, I also reach out to current employees of Experian and ask them about the LDP. And I can say that I had a very positive experience through that. So when I was coming through B school, I just knew I wanted to go into consulting. I just knew I was gonna be at one of the big four. Had applied, had gotten a role, but when it came to Experian, number one, people were not just nice; they were kind. And in that matriculation, I remember meeting one young lady who is now a VP here at the company in sales. She then introduced me to 4 other people. Said, "You have to talk to these other people. They would love to get to know you." And it was just an amazing experience, just knowing that people like see something in you and they're even willing to answer that. And she even introduced me to business unit president right after I got my accepted offer. So that kindness that was shown to me, and yeah, it was just, and the flexibility, because again, I do live on the East Coast, and being not at the time, wasn't in a position to move. And so having that flexibility and people understanding that, and we have experienced employees all over North America. So that was one of the big differentiating factors. And I think I'll add that what keeps me here is just knowing that there are so many possibilities and so many opportunities to impact consumers. And it so kind of address a couple of questions I saw about prerequisites to the program. That also, I did not have a background in the credit business at all. I came from more of a CPG, also supply chain background before pursuing my MBA. But this program allowed an opportunity to really highlight just how to think, not necessarily what to think. And so that's definitely an opportunity. So whether you know exactly what you want to do, or whether you're still trying to figure out what specifically you want to do, that LDP definitely helps you develop that skill set, because we touch hundreds of industries: insurance, gaming or gambling, mortgage, rental. There's so many opportunities for you to figure out and find a home for what you want to do here.
Wonderful. And I think, Duncan, we'll flip to you because there are a couple questions about the leader or the finance track in particular. Just kind of what you look for maybe previous experience, or what the experience is like for those finance folks that travel through the LDP.
Sure, and I think the exciting thing about the finance track, and people may not be expecting this, is not every rotation actually is in finance, and we feel that's important, because to be a strong finance professional, especially in Experian, you need to go well beyond the numbers, and you need to understand how do we innovate and what do roles look like in operations. And so the finance track is sort of unique in that sense. And just building off that, I saw a question around how much does prior work experience influence like where someone might land after LDP, and is the program designed to be a level playing field? Absolutely. Like when I'm helping sort of assess and decide if we're going to sort of land a finance professional on my team, it's all based on the merits of what they've contributed during their time in Experian. So I'm not looking at what school they went to or what they did, or like even resumes. I'm really focused on what have they been able to demonstrate in all the different rotations at Experian, working across, talking to the people they've been working with, talking to them, and understanding are they the right fit for Experian from a two-way perspective, right? And so, yes, completely a level playing field.
Awesome. And I did see a question, because we've kind of talked about a strategy track, a finance track, and there's a question in here about a health track. Yes, we do have a health leadership development program here at Experian. It is managed within the health business. So that's why you're not hearing it from us today. We primarily oversee the finance and strategy track. But I do know that their application process and interview process, it's very similar timing. So if you are interested in that, you can always ask Madison or go ahead and apply. Very similar, just managed a little bit separately from us. And then I know there's a question, Ray Ann, you might be able to answer this. How many people are in each program, finance and strategy?
Yeah, so currently in the program, we have 7. So we have a few new joiners that just joined this year, and then folks that are approaching like the second half of the program, getting ready to graduate, if you will, in the April timeframe. So we have 7, and we do have a health program. Elena, I think you commented on that. And what we're looking for on the health side, just really quickly, because I believe there was another question on that as well. They are looking for product and data analytics expertise. So if you are interested or have a background specifically on a health track, yes, that is available. And we do have a leadership development program posting for health.
And then there was quite a few questions I see about, can I apply to both finance and strategy tracks? Yes, you can. There's, we look for something a little bit different because it's going to be dependent on where you think you want to land. So if you want a finance type role or a strategy type role for your final landing, but you can apply to both. We can help sift through that with you. If you fit either or during those phone screenings and interviews, we can definitely help you kind of identify what might be the best fit as well. But yes, you can apply. And then I think there are some more questions about the interview process. What does that look like? I don't know, Rand, do you want to take that one? You want me to take it?
Sure, I can jump in and feel free to add on any pertinent details for everyone. So we are screening resumes as we speak for anyone who's applied. To Elena's point, if you have a preference, it's helpful to understand where your ambitions lie, whether you want to pursue a finance track or a strategy track. I just want to add on too, on our finance track, we do move people through strategy like roles. For example, a couple of people in our finance program currently are very much connected to market research, market analysis, M&A work. So there's a lot of collaboration between the two functions. But what we're ultimately looking for folks that want to apply to the finance track is that your ultimate ambition is to be like a business unit CFO or a regional CFO someday. That's really what we're looking for. And what the program provides for you on that track is well-rounded experience moving kind of through some of the commercial opportunities and business units at this accelerated pace in the program. So back to the application process. Once we get through the reviews, we're leaving the door open for everyone to apply following this info session today. Then we will do phone screens. I believe we have started those already. And then we will have interviews. There's a case study as part of those interviews. And then ultimately we'll look to make a selection in the November timeframe.
Thank you on that. And just to follow up that, a couple questions I see, does the strategy track touch upon product management teams and units as part of the rotation opportunities? So I think Rayanne kind of alluded to that, and even Duncan. Yes, when we say finance and strategy, a majority of your rotations will sit there, and the landing role is what we're looking at your interest in. However, you will dabble in and out. So there's still opportunities where if you are interested in jumping on like a product management, I think a question was, or a product strategy, yes, you have those opportunities.
Can I add a bit of color there?
Go ahead.
Sure. I am on the strategy track, but I did a rotation in finance, for example, with Duncan during the program. And I know Rachel in our class from the finance track who did a rotation outside of finance. So you can the class that is going into their second year and landing in April, I know one of them participated in an M&A rotation. So you do get involved. I think our rotations really focus and opt into big projects in the company, very big highlights, strategic opportunities. So you will most definitely have those chances to participate in big things with us. And I think there was one last thing, a question about international. So one of my rotations was also with the global team in fraud. So the global Experian software solutions, which is the global fraud team. And some of them are in the US, some of them are in the UK, some of them are in India and Costa Rica. So it is a global team. And I could work with them for 3 months. It was really cool.
We've seen that come up as well from a lot of the participants and interest in more global type work or projects. So we definitely take that feedback into consideration in figuring out rotations and what best fits everyone's desires. So we always do our best. It does ask if there's any opportunities. Oh, go ahead, Fran.
No, go, you jump in.
Okay, if there are any opportunities to travel for certain projects, I would say yes, some. There's not an exorbitant amount. As you heard, we are bringing the LDP together next week in our Costa Mesa office for a gathering. I know sometimes there's been other travel for, like Vision is the two on the call today, alluded to. So depending on what projects you jump onto, there may be opportunities, or for recruitment events, or for conferences, there are opportunities. And so you just have to make sure you kind of take ownership of that and raise your hand and ask as well. Let's see, what else? What about, this could be from any of the panelists. What would be your one piece of advice to excel in the interview process? You want to jump in?
I do. And people can add in. Go another layer or 2, 3 layers below what Gen AI will tell you to do. Please just go a little further from that generic first answer. That's my advice.
My advice is if you're working on, say, a business case, don't be afraid to make assumptions, because often by design, business cases have a level of ambiguity to kind of test if people are really giving thought to it and making assumptions and explaining why they made those assumptions. Because as we all know, with business cases, there isn't always sort of one perfect answer. So don't be afraid to be innovative, creative, and explore.
And I will add kind of a double click on Jacqueline's point, which is do your research on the company well ahead. We have a pretty robust investor. If you go to Experian, I believe it's Experian.com or Experian PLC, you can reach our investor relations site, and there's a ton of information there. Further detail about our portfolio of businesses. So highly recommend that.
Wonderful advice. And I believe there's an answer in here somewhere about the landing role. And I know that's usually a question of how does that happen? How does it work? It is a collaborative process. And so we want you all, whoever's in the program, to share with us your aspirations. And as you've rotated through different business units or functions or whatnot, you get to say, hey, I am interested in this, or I've worked within this business unit. Here's where I'd like to land. It is always a process of us matching up your desires with our current business opportunities at the time of your landing, but it is of utmost importance to us that we can do that matching as well as possible. And so Jacqueline and Mike, I don't know if you want to share from your experience any other information on that.
I would say it can depend on 2 things. Number one, where you want to go, and then also the business needs. So we always have to understand that you can't always go off into a random corner and just do your own thing. There are specific needs of the business, and there are ways to match that to what you want to do. So for example, for me, I know that I want to be impactful to the average everyday person. And the biggest way to do that is particularly through, we know the biggest investment that most people make in their homes, both financially and emotionally, is their home. And so through working with our direct-to-consumer business as well as our housing unit, I'm able to shed light and figure out ways that help consumers take control and take power of that process. So always think of it that way, both from your own unique way of how you want to be impactful, and then matching that to the business. And it honestly, it did come, as Elena mentioned, it came out of a conversation I actually had with the business unit president. I was able to, we had met a couple of times, and I was coming down to the end of the rotational program. And I wondered where, and I knew I wanted to land, and I straight out told her, hey, I want to come work for you in some capacity. And here's why I want to do that. Here was my experiences in this team and why it's such a value for me. And so those are those conversations you can have with people at the highest parts of our business. And they will be willing to hear you out and help you along the way and help you navigate that.
And there are so many good questions in here that we cannot answer all of them. But please, if you are interested, if you enjoyed this conversation, you think you'd be a great fit, we'd love to have you. We put the link to sign up or express your interest through Way Up. It's in the chat there for you all to click on. And I was also able to put in an email address. If you do have further questions, you can feel free to email us at earlycareersus@experian.com. We hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining. Hope to see you soon.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.